State or University of
St. Petersburg.
State
Yes.
College? Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Good morning, and thank you for having us back. As you know, Tesla Board of Directors, we are St. Petersburg College, the consulting firm that you hired a few weeks ago to look at the ethical issues associated with your autonomous car program. Now, those of you who saw our previous presentation will remember that we went into the legal, financial, and ethical issues, going into the lack of legal uniformity, as well as how well your stock price has been doing lately. But this will just focus on the ethical section. So, first of all, there are a couple big assumptions I need to get everyone on board with before we can really dive into ethics. The first one is that death is bad. The second one, and this is critical, less death is good. Now, if we can all get on the same page as far as this goes, the rest is going to come together really nicely. So, what should we do when we're trying to figure out what the ethical decision is? Our position is that you want to look at the choice that will result in the most benefit and the least harm. And there's something really important about the autonomous car program that we need to look at, and that is the fact that they are better at driving than humans are. It's by a few orders of magnitude, actually. And humans, it turns out, are really bad at driving. We have approximately 36,000 deaths in the United States alone per year. And that's almost entirely due to human error. And the really nice thing about computers is they don't make human errors. They may make other kinds, but not quite the same types that we do. For example, I'd like to talk briefly about something called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it's problematic, particularly in this case. You see, when someone starts to learn a little bit about a subject, they very quickly become incredibly confident in their own abilities to understand or do the thing, way outside of what their actual skill is. And let's pick a random example, driving. When you learn a little bit, and then go to take your driver's test, you're at this really high peak of confidence where you think you could outdrive a Formula One racer. And then you never start to learn more, which is when you start to sort of drop down and get a little bit close to where your actual skill level lies. So we have roads full of people who legitimately believe that they're the best drivers on the road 100% of the time. And this is a problem because the average person is only an average driver. And while that sounds kind of boring and trivial, they don't think they are. So when you tell them, well, this computer, it'll save your life, it's a better driver than the average driver, instead of listening to that, people think to themselves, well, yeah, but I've seen the average driver. I mean, my God, I go on highways. I'm clearly far better than the average driver, and therefore can ignore your miraculous self-driving technology. And this is problematic because we want to get more self-driving cars on the road. The future that is the best is the one with an almost entirely automated road. A fully automated road would be fantastic, but it seems unlikely that 100% of people will give up driving just because we say that they should. It'd be great, but we don't think it's likely. One of the other things that's important if we want to have a 100% autonomous road is communication between these vehicles. That's another problem that's come up, and while we do recognize hacking is a concern, right now we don't have time to go too far in depth on it, especially not during the ethical section. So, the future that we want to work towards is a future with a 100% autonomous roadway, not only for safety concerns, but also because that is a much more efficient road. You don't end up with congestion, you don't end up with bottlenecking. There are all kinds of problems that are solved just by getting people out from behind the wheel of the car. Now, I would also like to talk briefly about the trolley problem. It's something that's proposed almost every time there's a discussion on the autonomous car issue. And how it goes is basically like this. It was first proposed by Philippa Foot in the mid-60s. You have a trolley or a train or a whatever you'd like hurtling down some tracks at an unsafe speed, about to strike and kill 5 people who have been strapped down to the track. Now there's a switch, and you can pull the switch and it'll divert and it'll only hit one person, and what should you do? And at first, this does seem like a fair metaphor to use when discussing autonomous cars. After all, you could have a car hurtling down the road, and there could be 5 pedestrians on one side of a crosswalk and 1 on the other. And what should you do? But that doesn't take into consideration a couple of factors. The most important of which is that you are in the unique position of not manufacturing any random autonomous car. You're manufacturing Teslas. Your cars are the safest cars on the road by a huge margin in literally every test they've ever been subjected to. Your commitment to safety is in fact for the people in the car, not the car itself. You are doing such a good job with your commitment to safety that we believe you can start worrying about the people around your car in addition to the people inside of it. And what we mean by this is that in many situations, the safest thing to do is to crash the car. And while that sounds like a really negative and depressing thing, that is possibly one of the greatest achievements I've ever even heard of. That's incredible. Now, there is something that is worth mentioning as far as what you're doing right now. And right now, I think you can get away with it. You've been installing the autonomous driving hardware on every car you've manufactured since October of 2015. And that's fantastic news. We 100% support this. Especially because your autonomous driving as of right now is essentially a glorified cruise control. It can follow a gentle bend in a road and keep you in the same lane. You won't rear end the guy in front of you. And while that's incredibly impressive, it's not a driveway to destination autonomous driving system. That's coming. Your best estimates have it coming in around 2 to 3 years, but you would know better than I do. When that happens, we don't believe you can get away with charging an additional $5,000 for what amounts to a software upgrade. All the hardware is already there, and this is a safety feature approximately on par with the seatbelt. That would amount essentially to selling a car that has seatbelts, but which you have padlocked shut and are willing to sell a key to the padlock for an extra $5,000. And if you look at it that way, it becomes a little bit clearer why this is an ethical issue as opposed to something else. Now, for a closer look at our recommendations, I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Adam.
Thank you so much, Liam. I appreciate that. So there's a lot of problems when it comes to just delving into any market, really, but especially the fully autonomous car market. Now, the biggest problem that we face is just getting this product into the hands of the people. As Liam stated, we're truly striving for a 100% fully autonomous roadway. So how do we get this product in the hands of the people that need it? Well, you're a luxury company, and we understand that. So you do develop very high-end cars, and we respect that. However, we believe that you should expand your product line into a bit of a cheaper car. Now, you are on the process of doing that. You are about to release the Model 3, which is about a $30,000 car. However, we believe you can do better. We believe that you can actually expand into even a $20,000 or $15,000 car range to really diversify your market. But of course, when talking about algorithms and computers that will really take control of the car, we talk about transparency. And we believe that you have to be transparent with your customers. Your customers have to know what your algorithm is going to do at any given time. And that information needs to be public so that the public can be aware of the product that they're stepping into. But of course, we would like to have every car on the road be a Tesla, but that's just simply not the case. And so we have to be able to collaborate with other companies in order for our fully autonomous cars to really communicate and work together. However, this is another market for Tesla. We believe Tesla can collaborate and be a leader in this market to design somewhat of a network protocol, an internet of sorts between cars so that they can talk to each other. So that a car 10 cars in front of you can see an accident and alert all the cars around them. We believe that you as Tesla can actually take a leadership role in designing this protocol. But of course, this all boils down to public trust. Why would a customer step in a car that they can't drive unless they trust the company that they're buying them from? And so we believe that you should increase your warranty slightly. Now, you have done this in the past. You've shown us that you can increase warranties when a new product comes out. We believe that you should expand this even further into a fully autonomous road, so that when someone steps into Tesla, God forbid something does happen, they can feel safe, that not only are they financially safe, but that their children are as well. We believe that if you follow these recommendations, you will not only increase demand for your product, but also continue to improve your reputation and your stockholder trust. Thank you so much.
Thank you.